What's up, Internet? Welcome to the 10th and final act of our totem leveling series. If you just stumbled across this video, and it's the first one you've seen in the series, you should know this video is not meant for moderate or veteran experienced Path of Exile players. This is more of a leveling guide for people that are newer to the game or have no idea what to do with a totem character. It's almost like a let's play. We're going to be hitting every side quest. We're going to be talking a little bit more about gear choices or skill choices or things like that. Although now that we're here at the end at Act 10, there's not much left to decide. We have our resistances are sorted, if I can remember which hotkey that is. Technically they won't be sorted when we finish the story. We're going to lose another 30% resists, and so that's something you're going to want to be thinking about as you're wrapping up the story and getting to maps. Thinking about what pieces of gear have suffixes open, for example. We probably want to find new boots to increase our fire and cold res a little bit further. 105 is the sweet spot, right? That'll put us at 75 flat if when we lose the 30% resist from killing Kataba. For now, and for the purpose of this video series, it's not going to matter because we're not going to keep playing after maps, right? This is just a leveling series. But it's something that you should be thinking about. Like this ring right here, I should probably put fire and lightning res on this ring. Maybe even out of principle, we'll just go do that because I can just go to my hideout and do that. Fire and lightning res. I'm pretty sure I'd be able to use tier 2 because we've done second labyrinth, which I think is where that comes from. And I do have an alchemy, right? I've got 5. So now we're at 91, 95. Oh wait, I want fire cold. Oh, there goes an alchemy. You have a scouring, right? Yeah. Yeah, 98, 107. So we would need a little bit more fire res on something. I don't know where. I could technically switch belts maybe and get rid of my chaos res. Either way, it's something that I would solve if I was league starting, and something I'd be thinking about basically as soon as I got to Act 10. But to carry on, I don't think we're going to be doing a lot of stopping to mess with gear at this point, unless it's a wand upgrade. I probably don't care. I've got plenty of life. I've got 3,000 plus my mind over matter, which is more than enough to do this and the final labyrinth before I finish. So the first thing you do when you come up here, this ladder, you hit up into the top left and help Bannon, who's gotten pinned down by some jerks. And they're gonna die pretty quick. And he'll tell you, hey, thanks. So you portal back to town and talk to people. She'll give you a flask. I guess we could just take another flask, sure. You could talk to all these people and get your quests so you know where we're going. Like usual, you don't actually have to pick the quest up. You can just go to the quest objective if it's doable in that act, and you can just start the quest that way. But we know that we need to find the ossuary, the reliquary, and the control blocks. And so what I usually do in this zone is I go and I get all the waypoints that go to these things first, and then I just go in a big circle and jump waypoint to waypoint basically and get them all. There's a bunch of mobs that cast, like these ghosts here all cast temporal chains, which can be pretty annoying. So make sure you're running through your totems every once in a while. Let's grab that shrine, why not? This zone just progresses southeast. You can kind of follow a wall because sometimes you'll need to take one of these little outer paths to keep going. And we'll just keep making sure our arcane surge is refreshed. We're gonna have to go around, it looks like. Right? Oh, maybe we gotta go around up to the right. There it is. we're still dealing way more damage than we really need to be. They are doing pretty decent, you know, physical melee damage. Your steel skin and just, you know, being mobile and stuff should make that no problem. But I would say you definitely want to have your steel skin cast when damage taken sorted out. You know, like it should be active by the time you get here. And you should have your mind over matter by the time you get here. So we know that we need to find all 3 of these zones. And what I usually do is I head south first. You can, I mentioned this in the Act 5 video, but they keep repeating this matriarch. And if you come over here to the well, which is now full of like bodies and blood, she's here again. For some reason. Kill her for good luck, I guess. But if you head down to the south area, we will find the control blocks down the street. And as you come down here to the south, you'll see it on your mini-map where it kind of goes even further southwest right here. Get into the control blocks. Now, like I said, I typically just grab all the waypoints first. You could just go through and do this zone right now, but this is just what makes things easier to sort in my head. So now I've got the waypoint for the control blocks. We're going to go back out this way. We're going to go up the right side this time, because right around the corner is the reliquary. And again, I'm just going to grab the waypoint and I'm going to bounce. And now we're going to go further up the right side. You can just kind of run through most of this. You do want to be a little bit attentive in case you need a flask or something. But mostly you're just dropping your totems and running. You don't need to come up here to where Atula was. There's no side quest there now. Although I think you can still get the hideout if you didn't pick it up in Act 5. I'm pretty sure you can pick it up there. But we are not stopping here. Now we came up the right side because if you try to go up the left side, the way you went in the Act 5 path, the bridge is broken on that side. So you do need to come up on the, like on the right bridge and then head over. So we've got all 3 waypoints. Now we can just kind of go knock all 3 of these out at once, because there's the ossuary. The Desecrated Chamber is actually just forward from this spot. But we'll just go ahead and pop off the side quest right now. So the control blocks, you can probably remember this area from basically the end of Act 4, the start of Act 5, where you teleport in like the Terminator. Where you're going in this zone for this mission is basically where you found the Maya's meter, right? Valenta, the woman that like told you to go hunt down the Maya's meter, she turned herself into some like horrific demon. That's actually where you ported in Terminator style right there. So you can tell we're kind of working our way backwards from last time. So if we head to the northwest, as if we were trying to find the Maya's meter again, be a little bit mindful. There's a lot of haste mobs here apparently. But I'm just going to continuously try to go like north-northwest. Probably west here. And it looks like there it is. And you can leave a portal here if you aren't sure if you're going to make it. But we should be fine. What do we want to grab? You'd think I would have thought of this before I pressed record. You'd be wrong. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and come down here and get coordination for some more life and some cast speed. There's really not much to Valenta. She's going to turn on these beams that are going to power her up. By the time this attack is over, she's probably already been phased. And so when she phases, she's going to do some like strafing runs on the room. it really doesn't matter whether you move out of these or not. They just don't do enough damage to be that threatening, I feel like. And she's going to land exactly where she took off, right? And then she's going to do the beam thing again. But if you notice, like I said, she's basically going to lose so much life trying to do that she's going to immediately phase. As long as you put your totems down in time. So now we'll just let her. She can hit you for a decent amount, but they're so spaced out, right? That like it's just not that threatening. And then again, she's going to land exactly where she went up in the first place. Try to do the beams thing yet again, and pretty much. Whoa, she tried to show me wrong, didn't she? Too late though. So we'll go back to town. We'll turn this in Lonnie. We'll get a skill point from killing her. That'll give us coordination. I keep looking at my skill tree thinking, did I miss something really important? But I don't think so. Like maybe we could have gotten jewel sockets or something, but we would only really do that if we were going on a freezing pulse, which we won't be doing in this series, but we probably would be thinking about if this was an actual league start, right? I probably would be trying to do league mechanic or something to try and get enough currency to start trading for those items before I ever got here. Anyway, so the reliquary, the find the teardrop mission, I'm pretty sure this is either a belt or regret points. This is the same area as when you find the Torments of Kitava in Act 5, like the jaw and the hair and stuff. The way this zone is laid out, you either come in at the top right or the top left of the zone. I'm pretty sure you're pretty much always in the top left. But basically, let me grab this essence here. We just want to hit the corners of the map to see like which corner has the teardrop. Because instead of having to find 3 things, we're just hunting down 1. So first we're going to head into like the northeast corner to see if it's there. And then if it's not, we're going to head along that wall to the southeast corner. And then finally the southwest corner. So it doesn't look like it's in the northeast corner. I feel like it's often in the southeast corner, so maybe it's always there. I just don't pay enough attention. So we'll follow this edge until we find the southeast corner. It looks like it's probably going to be the southwest corner this time. Yeah, there's our exclamation mark for it. Grab teardrop, go ahead and head out. I actually don't remember which reward this is. Yeah, this is the belt, okay. I actually have a pretty good amount of life. Maybe we'll try a rustic sash. Life mana lightning res? It's not terrible. We'll just hold on to it. That's something I would probably at least consider. But at this point, really just need to finish. So we need to find the ossuary, which is at this Ravaged Square waypoint. This is now an optional quest, by the way, and this is also where the last lab trial is. And we are going to do our 3rd trial, like our 3rd labyrinth, before we finish this series. We'll actually do it before we kill Kitava, which is how I typically do it at League Start. This build is actually pretty decent at lab, so it's not very scary to go in there at like 65, 66, 67, or whatever we're going to be. Typically I do it right before the last stretch. So whenever it tells me to go fight Kitava is when I typically go and make a pit stop. And the reason for that is because if you wait until after you kill Kitava, you've lost 30% more resistances, right? So it makes a little bit more sense to try and get it done, if you can, before you lose those resistances. Unless you've already accounted and, you know, you're going to have maxed out resist even after the penalty. But for me, I just like to get it done. And once you find that Elixir of Allure here, pretty much sticking to the general rule of going away from the entrance. Very close to it, you'll see that book icon, which will point you to the last trial. And this one just has like a few hallways of poison traps with darts and flame dash, and a quicksilver will get you through most of it. It doesn't really matter if they hit you or not. I think we're actually out of sync with the server. Yeah. You can sometimes tell when the totems don't get placed where you are. But for the most part, just flame dash through this stuff. Keep your totems down for the regen though. That way it doesn't really matter if the things hit you. Click it, click the portal, and now we can go do the last trial whenever we want. So we'll pop the portal. We can turn this into Waylem. I'm pretty sure this is respec points. And then our final mission. This will be to head basically back to where we fought Innocence the first time. We want to find a way to get through this, like this pile of horns. And the way to do that is to get, basically to bring Innocence back after we killed him. So we kind of take a little bit of a turn here, but you just follow the road for the most part. And this is the exact same layout as it was the last time you were here. We passed through this place twice, right? So we're going to be heading to the southeast corner first. So you can find basically the eastern wall. And then once you hit the eastern wall, you can go south. There is some decent physical spike damage in this place from these chargers, so be a little bit mindful. But it's not really going to be too threatening. This build is just quite strong early game, so you're not really going to have too much issue just kind of plowing through this stuff. And just like before, we kind of get to that southeast corner and then we head southwest as far as we can. And then it'll turn northwest again, somewhere. Apparently we need to go a little bit further southwest. There we go. Into the Desecrated Chambers, which was the lead-in right before you fought Innocence in Act 5. And if you remember, there was a crafting recipe in the first half of the zone, and it's basically in the same spot, but it's a new recipe. And so you kind of want to head southwest first, and look for that one big open room. It's like a long sort of rectangular room. I'm not going to bother hitting the delirium at this point. It might be when you come here the second time, it's actually after the elevation change, come to think of it. No, actually it's right here, I think. No, it's before the elevation change. Yeah, it's crafting recipe here. It's actually a different recipe than the first one, so make sure you grab it. And then, hey, Vol Orbs. Vol Orbs are really handy. I think your first Vol Orbs for a while should be going towards Viridian Jewels, trying to find your own self-flagellation jewel for freezing pulse setup. And you can corrupt any Viridian jewel. It can be white, it can be magic, it can be rare. It doesn't have to be a unique jewel. It'll turn unique if it becomes a self-flagellation, but they all have the exact same odds. What are we doing with the skill point anyway? I think I will probably come over here and just get some projectile speed. We're actually not going to get that much. Like, we've only got a few more levels at most. Anyway, before this video is up, we still need to go a little bit further northwest, apparently, before it turns around. See, like, you can definitely take some spike damage from these chargers. And there's apparently another betrayal mission here. Not interested, thank you. Just like before, there's a ton of enemies in this room right before where Innocence was. So be a little bit careful there. Usually most of them are magic too, so. The nice thing is they are worth a lot of experience. So, pop a portal if you feel you need to. This is, if you remember, there was like a priest guy in the Innocence fight, and then you kill him and he turns into Innocence. It's basically the same thing, but he's never going to turn into Innocence because Innocence is dead. No pun intended or anything. So he operates just like he did before, basically, but he's got like some blood attacks now, and he'll sometimes summon these pillars of blood from the ceiling. He still has like the statue thing, but you know, we do a lot of damage, so he's not going to live that long. He actually has a fair amount of life compared to a lot of the story bosses, to be honest. But now that we have the staff, we can take it to Bannon. And say goodbye to Bannon, who's going to turn into a pile of clothes. Which is kind of goofy looking, I feel like. But he basically allows Innocence to get reborn. And now, we get a chess piece. And F for Bannon. Let's see, life, fire res. This is pretty similar to what I've got on. I don't care about that. All these flasks. So, the very last mission then is to break through Kitava's horns and go kill Kitava. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up until the last waypoint, see if I can get like 66 or so. And then at the last waypoint, which I believe is right before Kitava. Maybe we should just go do it now. Now I'm a little bit spooked. I feel like there's a waypoint here, right? We'll find out. I think there's a waypoint here. Man, you know what? I don't know. I don't want to risk getting all the way there and finding out there's not a waypoint. I don't remember anymore. Let's just go do... We'll do third lab. We can do it at 65, I think. No problem. So we'll head back to the Aspirants Plaza. And... Merciless Lab. Now, the gimmick of Merciless Lab compared to the other two is that I think you'll always get forced into a golden door. At least most of the time. It might be every time. But the general, like, pathing strategy for me never really changes. In the first room, I basically just stick to the right wall. And this looked like there was only one exit in this zone. It's going to go to a dead end. This looks like the only exit, right? Yeah. So I'm just gonna head to the northeast. Usually there's one exit always in the northeast of these dungeon looking rooms. You're mostly watching out for spike traps in the dungeon rooms. Sometimes they'll have sequences with a lot of like buzzsaws and spinners and stuff that you're forced to pass through, but most of the time you're just looking for spike traps. So Mansion Passage is not where we want to go, so probably need to go west then. Yeah, so like I said, there's sometimes these forced sections of more spike traps and stuff, but they're not all that deadly. Come around the corner, just port through that. This should be Aspirants Trial. Don't forget, with every new trial you do, or every new lab, you can do the third tier of that crafting recipe. Slowness, lend strength. I think that's what... I don't remember if these are all active and... Yeah. See, we do so much damage that he's just gonna get smoked. And I don't think any of them were active. So, Basilic Passage. Check. There's only one exit, so we should find it by sticking to like the head northeast strategy. Looks like a zoomer shrine. I'll take that, please. Do be a little bit careful when you have a shrine like this that you don't gank yourself on spike traps or something. Probably... Is this it? It says so. Farewell, Zoomer Shrine. There's a decorative chest there. I'm actually not going to take it because, well, hell, fuck it. Why not? Portal Shredder. Okay. There's our Aspirants Trial. Now, there's 2 exits here. So I know that this northern wall, the other door is there. But sometimes when you find a wall like this, like in this kind of layout, and there's only one exit, then you should check the other end of this wall. Sometimes like the wall will continue for a while. Usually it means there's either the, what's his face, the dog, the giant gargoyle dog thing, or there's a dark shrine passage. That one had 2 exits, so I know that the other end is just going to be the other exit. So we know that we have the portal shredder, which means we know that this is the portals, and there's a chance maybe I can kill him before he wants to summon the second set. No, the game is not having it. So now he's going to stay alive until the next portal comes up, and then he's probably going to immediately phase. Yeah. So we should have 2 portals of spawners up for the final fight, but he's going to die before those are relevant at all. I think there's probably, oh, there's 2 exits here. Apparently. Yeah, as long as you keep totems down, you'll have plenty of regen, and between that and Mind Over Matter, these traps really just aren't a threat. For the most part, you don't even have to care if you get hit by most of them. So there is an exit. That leads to the wrong direction. That leads to the right direction. And now one of the exits out of a state crossing should take us to the final encounter. This one. We actually did not have a golden door mechanic on this path, which is surprising. Usually they force you into a golden door at Merciless, or at least it's super common, but we know that that's not the right way. So it looks like it's going to be on the other side of all this nonsense, whatever all this is. And there it is. Now this one, these buzzsaws are usually on the outer edge of the room, but there are poison darts in the middle. So you kind of want to hang out on just in this like square, so that you don't accidentally get poison darted or something. Otherwise, just kind of run in a circle and make sure you don't eat any of his AoE. That green circle, by the way, if he's still alive and you're in that green circle, it'll port you to one of the corners, basically. It's really not that threatening on this one. But we can pop a key, get some junk loot. Hooray. Now, I guess we'll put it on boots. There's no chance I'm going to get a useful helmet enchant, right? So probably better spent on boots. Just hope I get a decent one. That could be worse. 120 lightning damage if I haven't killed recently. The way totems work is that because my totems are the ones killing things, I'm never killing things. You have to kill something with your own damage, right? Or with damage that comes from you, I guess I would say. But anyway, for our third ascendancy, we're going to go ahead and take Conviction of Power. They changed this in 3.13, and now it's basically +1 to maximum power and endurance charges, and then it gives you 4 minimum. So as soon as I take this, I'm going to have 4 power and 4 endurance charges forever. There's no way for these to be removed. You can't spend them on skills like Immortal Call. You can't lose them to enemies that have Nullifier or anything like that. They're just 4 all the time. You can't spend them. Enemies can't remove them. So we do get a fair amount more crit, and we get a bunch more resistances and physical damage reduction. The resistances are nice because since these can't be removed, you can kind of just consider them part of your base resist. So I'm actually more than ready to take the 30% resist penalty after I kill Kitaba now. So that's something that it definitely helps you transition into maps, because you essentially have this extra 16% all res that you didn't before. Okay, so now we can go on the final path and get rid of Kitaba. And Bob's your uncle. The power charges are also really nice because around this time, when you're starting to prepare for maps, you want the crit chance, right? You need more base crit chance to make more use of crit damage and things like that. So power charges are a really nice boost to your base crit. And we'll say hi to Alva, but we're not going to stop and do anything with Alva here. Probably hit 66 by the time we're killing Kitaba. This zone is pretty much like a linear path, so no place to get lost here, and there's nothing left to do. We've done all the side quests, we've done all the trials. I mean, I guess technically we haven't done the quest to help Alva, but we ain't got no time for that. Right up here should be the last room. Farm some experience here. Yeah, there's the exit into the feeding trough. Spend our last skill point on, sure, on assassination. Some more crit multi. Doing 17.9, basically 18,000 DPS per totem, not including our resistance penalties and stuff. Chaos. And this zone is literally a straight shot. You can take the left or the right side of the Blood River and just go. Now we should get one more rank of our skills actually, so when Holy Flame Totem levels up here in a second, we'll do even a bunch more damage. Enough that we basically smoke Kitava pretty hard. So it may not level up before we get there, the way it looks. Yeah, that's okay. Now, if you come over here on the left side, there is a crafting recipe. You probably don't want to forget that. It's easy to miss if you come up the right side. Talk to Sin. He opens the staircase here. You can drop a portal just in case we do get squished. This is a really straightforward fight, though, because of our damage. So we're just going to drop totems, drop flame wall, make sure he gets cursed with flammability. And he's already phased. He's just sort of confused about it. He's like, wait, what? These little red trails will put a pretty strong degen on you, so you want to keep moving, make sure those don't get you. Now, after every heart phase, he's going to snatch one of our two friends here. So we'll put down these. Stay away from the sweep arm. He's already phased. He's got to let go of our friend Sin. And now we have to phase him again. Watch out for the area attack. He's probably already phased again. Put down our totem and our curse and stuff for the heart. And that's already gone. You can see we just have way more DPS than we need for this. He's gonna grab Innocence this time. And he's gonna have to let him go. And now he's gonna do a flame breath thing after he sets this up, probably. Oh, he didn't even get to do it this time because he chose to put up the little stun orb. Well, sucks for him. Anyway, put your totems and your flame wall and your curse up and get rid of that heart. And that'll do it for Kitava. Oh, this stun orb really needs to go away. It's killing my immersion, dude. And that goes splat. And we do take our second resist penalty, but like I said, because we got the power charges and stuff, we have more resist than we even need. And once we go through this portal, this is going to put you in Oriath, where we can turn in that quest to get 2 skill points. I think it said Lonnie here. Now, probably, yeah, I'd probably just go this way for now. Now, technically the campaign is done, but we'll go ahead and do the epilogue really quick. And I will point out, once you get here, it's easy to forget this when you get to 2 skill points. If you come up here to the northwest, there is the final tier of movement speed for boots here at this crafting recipe, right by Helena. Don't forget to grab that. Now, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do. Yeah, I don't think I can actually do the epilogue on this character because I'm in standard. But basically, there's an epilogue where you talk to Kirak and you run off into this zone, and then you run off into the zone next to it and stuff. It's really straightforward, and there's no screwing it up, basically. And once you finish that, he'll put the map device in your hideout, and you can go do maps. So yeah, that is Act 1 through 10 leveling as Holy Flame Totem. We have pretty mediocre gear. We have a few 4-links, 4-link chest piece, a pretty good 4-link hat, honestly. I would be pretty happy to find this hat at League Start. Some okay 4-link gloves, a couple of mediocre wands, these boots that I think I've had since, what item level are these? 32? Yeah, I've had these since like, what, Act 4? Something like that. Yeah, Holy Flame Totem is just a really nice, strong build. I think we had no deaths, right? It's pretty rare for me to die leveling a Holy Flame Totem character. You wind up with way more DPS than you need, and pretty decent defenses for the campaign. Anyway, that'll do it. If you have any questions or comments about leveling Holy Flame Totem, you can certainly leave them here in the video. Or you can find me at twitch.tv/WallachTV. I will be streaming a bunch for the 3.14 Ultimatum League start. And you can definitely expect me to have a video for updating the Freezing Pulse Totems guide. That won't happen until probably Wednesday or Thursday. Patch notes will come out Tuesday, and then I'll probably spend most of Wednesday getting the guide updated. So there'll probably be a video like Thursday talking about if there are any changes for the build or not. If there aren't any changes, I'll probably just do like a general update video to kind of show gameplay for map clearing and bossing and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully this video series has been helpful to you in some way. If you've liked it, please make sure to leave a like or subscribe. YouTube seems to really like it when people do that stuff. And I will catch you guys next week for Ultimatum. Peace.